Yo, 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 what is up? This is Too Sick with Super Sick Records, and I'm going to just do a quick tips and tricks video on how to set your mix up for mastering. First and foremost, bro, you're gonna want to turn the beat down and you want to make sure the beat is at a good level to where the vocals sound just right, yada yada. So I'm just gonna fucking say fuck it. We're gonna go right into the mastering stage, bro. So after you record, after you add all your plugins and all your vocal effects and stuff like that, and once you have figured out the balance of the mix and nothing's clipping, then you're gonna send all elements of your mix to a mix bus. Let me show you what that means. So over here, see, this is my beat track, right? And over here, where it typically says stereo out over here, right? But you're gonna just change this button to a new bus, and that bus was 5, right? This is my mix bus. We're gonna funnel every single sound element to this one channel bus, this one strip, right? So, and this is bus 5, right? Right here, this is this one strip. And I've funneled everything to bus 5. You can see this. I've funneled my vocals to one bus, and bus 1 is right here, right? This is my vocal channel, and this goes to bus 5. And then even my reverb and delay go to bus 5. This is my reverb and delay right here. These go to bus 5 as well. Boom. So everything literally is on this one channel strip before it hits stereo out, right? I'll show you. So everything's on there. Right? So this is the mix bus. Okay? Now what you're gonna want to do, the first steps you want to do, you're gonna do like these 4 steps that I do. You're gonna do EQ. God damn it! We're gonna do EQ, compress. Then we're gonna add EQ back in, and then we're gonna saturate. The only thing I'm not doing in this chain is stereo imaging. I'm just cutting straight through that part, and we're gonna go right into limiting. So there's 5 things: EQ, compress, add EQ back in, saturate, right, 4, and then limit. You're gonna want to send it to the limiter, and over here you put your limiter on your stereo out right here. So this is your mix bus. Now this mix is getting sent to the limiter, and since you don't want to overload the limiter, right? That's why this mix bus is essential, because you're gonna be messing around with frequencies in this mix bus, taking things out, enhancing certain frequencies, etc. So that way when you send it over to this limiter, the limiter is not working as hard. There we go. Had to explain that. So first step, EQ. I'm up for my ex bitch, bloody old like Tetris. She had me fucked up, drinking till I'm B-boy head spins. Now I settled on this area to attenuate because I could see this area, this section has a lot more energy over here versus this section. This section is a little bit lower. She had boundaries, but I crossed like pedestrian. Now I'm going for your best friend. See, it's kind of tapering down a little bit like that, right? So I went ahead and just did this, so that way we could try to even out the playing field. You know what I'm saying? So now it's slightly more even. And then we throw it into the compressor. We're using the SSL compressor. Okay, and I settled on these settings. 10:1 ratio. Attack is 1 millisecond. Release is 0.3. Threshold, I aimed my threshold at this number. She be greater than my ex-friend. She be acting real naughty, she dance me, act right. So I'm saying, so the most it's reducing is around -4. And I got the makeup gain at 2. Okay. I'm not gonna explain compression here, I'm just showing you guys. And then since we did the deductive EQ, we did compression, now we're gonna add EQ back in. So we add EQ, and I use Pultec EQ to add shit back in. And over here with compression, pretty much I'm compressing the whole signal, right? That means the low end has been compressed as well. So you're losing a little bit of information on the low end, but we're adding EQ back in, so I'm going to add that low end back in at 30 hertz. So you see here my bandwidth is up here, my boost is at 4, and then over here on the high end I'm gonna boost 4K, because remember how I said this area over here is a little bit smaller. So there we go, I went ahead and boosted 4K. Okay, and then we're moving into a second EQ. This is another Pultec EQ. We're still on the additive EQ phase here, and this EQ is a little different. It's the mid-band, the mid-shelf EQ, where we're just focusing on the mid-ranges. Not so much as the 8K and the 16K like this one over here. See, this one has high, but it also has low, right? But this one focuses more on the mids, right? And I went ahead and added, oh shit, was that at 1K? Added 1K in. I carved out 200. That's what she doing when she beat on me like tech. So pretty much, hold on. Hey, fuck my ex bitch. Now I'm on to the next bitch. Yes, bitch. Okay, pretty much I'm pushing this low end up to 4. I'm using my ears, making sure it doesn't sound weird, but I'm pushing it as far as I can before it sounds weird, if you get what I'm saying. So push that as far as you can, and then for the boost, just try to listen for the frequencies that harmonize with your voice. So the 4K, that's like a frequency that stuck out to me. And then over here, I'll explain here. So yeah, the 1K is part of that frequency range that needed to be boosted. Like I said, how I said on this range over here, it's kind of tapering downwards, so we're kind of bringing those signals back up. So the 1K and the 2K and the 4K are being lifted back up. And with that being said, I've pushed these EQs to as far as I can before it starts sounding weird, right? She be sucking on my testes. She be taking on this low like it's FedEx. She be riding on my stratosphere, drumming on like trampoline, pounding me like. And so with that being said, I can now see like, oh, I'm hitting -0.7. Like I got this pretty damn close to 0 without needing to use like saturation yet. So and the whole mix is kind of like that. Like everything's jumping up around this number, right? So then I was like, all right, now I'm gonna add saturation. And so what I did here to add this was that I turned this fader down to -4 and I added my saturation. And this fucking makes this shit gritty, boy. And then look.
Like a shotgun hit, I was playing fake to get inside that pussy. She a rookie, but she playing with my balls like the rookie of the year. She ain't got no fear, she eat me like a meal. She was on my face, straight sucking on my ear.
Okay. Boom, we're at -3 right here. Pretty good number. So then now I'm gonna feed this into the limiter. So now we're at.
She a freak, yeah, she leak when she stuck. I'm diving in the water like a duck. Now I'm up from my ex bitch, blind that old like Tetris. She got me fucked up, drinking till I'm B-boy head spins.
Okay, and you can see we're attenuating around -3. I'm fine with that. I don't hear any weird fucking sounds. I don't hear anything weird off of that. So, you know, it's limiting a little bit. It's not limiting like crazy, you know, but it's limiting a little bit. And I've heard that once you start passing -3, it starts to sound weird. Like once you get into like the -4, -5, -6 attenuation, it's gonna sound a little weird on the bass.
She had boundaries, but I crossed like pedestrian. Now I'm going for your best friend.
But yeah, so that's why I said you want to make sure you're not loading your limiter up too harsh, right? So turn this down, right? Turn this down, and then now we could load it into the limiter, and I was able to turn this shit back up. And now we could see our LUFS. I'll show you. We can see our LUFS here.
For that bitch, then I dump that bitch. Yeah, apartment dumper, like a shotgun hit. I was playing fake to get inside that pussy. She a rookie, but she playing with my balls like the rookie of the year.
-9, -8. And now I kind of want to run this backwards for you. So -9 LUFS integrated, and I'm going to go ahead and run this backwards for you. So I'm going to show you how much LUFS we were at prior to adding all these elements to the mix. Put this back up at 0, 0. So this is what it sounds like without mastering.
Like a shotgun hit, I was playing fake to get inside that pussy. She a rookie, but she playing with my balls like the rookie of the year. She ain't got no fear, she eat me like a meal.
We're at -18 LUFS, bro. I doubled that and got up to -9. See what I'm saying? So now I'm gonna turn these back up, and I'm gonna place my fader back down because that's how it's working right here.
She was on my face, straight sucking on my ear. She a freak, yeah, she leak when she stuck. I'm diving in the water like a duck. Now I'm up from my ex bitch, blind that old like Tetris.
Yeah, man, that's it right there, man. That's how you do it, bro. -9 LUFS, bro.
She got me fucked up, drinking till I'm B-boy head spins.
This shit loud as fuck, bro. Like, this shit bumps, bro. Like, there's no doubt about it. This shit fucking bumps. So yeah, man, that's how I do my sauce at the moment. My next step that I would do, if I knew how to use these tools, was the imaging of the mix. And that's just where you kind of like split the signal so that, you know, the full signal's not going fully on the left and the right. You're kind of like making half signal go left and then half the other signal go right, you know. So that's what stereo imaging is kind of like. You're just like piecing different parts of information towards different directions of the mix, you know, like just so that way you could kind of like save more room in your mix or something like that. You could flatten things out, all that stuff. But that's the only thing I don't do is the imaging, the stereo imaging. But that would certainly be my next step, learning stereo imaging, so that way I could like further optimize the mix the way I want to, you know, because that's what imaging is. You're fucking debating on how do you want the signal to like hit your ears. Do you want like half the signal on the left, half the signal on the right, or do you want full signal left, full signal right? Or if you're doing surround sound, like some Dolby Atmos type shit, you could play around with the signals and the image like that, you know? So, yeah, try to keep it short.